What is your project? I have to ask. Are you willing to say? This will.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've just been.
No one's gonna be listening to this. It's fine. Just you and me.
I've been trying the game in Boulder.
Fuck yeah, that's so sick.
So I'm super psyched on that. It's kind of hard to been trying it for a little while now, but also not. It's like every 6 months. So I feel like I reset and I have to try again because weather and just traveling. But I'm really psyched on it. It's one of my biggest dream climbs. And
that's so sick.
Hard for me. So
what makes it hard for you? Is it the compression style? I don't know if that
it's a really just pure power climb, which is so cool. But the first move is really big, which isn't actually too much of a problem. Because I can reach it. It's if you can't reach it, you'd be done. But since you can, it's not that much harder. But then the next move, I'm so extended, I have to move. You get this foot lock and then move the foot up. And I just have no space between me and the wall essentially to move. So it feels really stuck versus someone, who might have more height. They just have a lot more space to move with. So that, and I mean, it's just pure power, which is really sick. So it's just, I think it's a really benchmark hard climb. And it's one I've grown up in Boulder. So it's a big dream of mine for sure.
Yeah. How difficult was the thought process leading up to a suggestion of a grade or a downgrade for box therapy? Did you and Katie or any other Ascensionists discuss it before you posted it? Automatically people on the internet just want to be so annoying and they want to say oh, are you taking away from... It's of course not, dude. These two people just both did a badass rock climb and they just thought it was a different grade and they had a different opinion.
Katie and I are really good friends and both, I feel very chill. So with us, there's no problem. I reached out to her beforehand before I posted. Also, I was really, I said, I'm a people pleaser. I was really nervous about it beforehand, which did kind of honestly take away a little bit as well from the send. Knowing that it didn't matter what I did, it would there was some backlash, and just from the outside public who are not involved, but I just knew there would be.
There was.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say mostly on Instagram, just annoying comments and stuff,
trolls.
Not actual backlash. Every one of my, personal conversations and relationships are it was great, very positive, just from people that have no idea what's going on. And I was called a misogynist, so that was really fun.
You're anti-women now? God damn it.
I'm anti-woman from a man. I was oh.
From a man, of course.
Go there. It was wild. But it's just frustrating that why is this a thing? It was frustrating. And in no way would my goal was never to take away from Katie. her first female ascent of box therapy was incredible and inspired me, to go back up there. And her opinion's her opinion. But for me, it was, so I first tried, I'll kind of start at the beginning, but I first tried box therapy September 2022. Went up one day with my brother because he was trying it, and I did every move pretty fast, and I fell on the stand my first day, which is an 11. So from the bottom, I fell on the stand, and then I did the stand. So did really well on the climb.
Two overlapping parts, yeah.
And also even before that, Sean, before we even went up there, Sean was oh, yeah, I'm thinking of maybe calling it if I, he gets a little bit ahead of himself. He hasn't done it, but I might call it 8C. And then we get up there and, he's still not doing it. And he was oh, maybe it is 16. There's the hike, whatever. And I do really well at it. And I was wow, that's crazy. I'm psyched, but I'm what, that doesn't, to me personally, I've never even tried a V16. I have tried V15. So the game, for example, was kind of what I was comparing it to. And it was completely my style, but I was just really surprised at how I felt on it. And after that, day, I was to me, I can't imagine calling that V16 for myself. It didn't on that first day, even it felt better than, for example, the climb I did in Ticino. That's an AP plus, which I find a really hard AP plus. So just comparing it to different things and stuff, it after that day, I had said to friends and everything that I was really psyched. I was yeah, I did really well. I'd love to go back. I don't know. It doesn't really feel V16 to me because that just in my mind also is kind of crazy. But then again, grades are so subjective and wild that something does genuinely feel so different for so many different people that how can someone be wrong, you know?
Right.
Like, this is how I feel. Like, you're not wrong. Okay. That's how you feel. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to have like different opinions on grades personally. And I also think, I mean, we could go on forever about grades and I don't want to, but
yeah, totally.
I don't want to, because there's no perfect solution.
No, I know. Yeah. I'll just rant about it too. Yeah, if we get going, because it is like I will rant about it for a second and then I'll stop.
Go for it.
But like one thing that is really frustrating to me is that anytime something gets downgraded, there's this kind of, at least online, broad sentiment that like, oh, that is the grade now. One person gives it a lower grade than it's been given before, and all of a sudden it's that now. That just doesn't make sense. Like it should be a spectrum. Different sizes, different people, different styles are going to have different opinions. That just makes sense. Like, we're all interacting with a piece of rock and we're all different. So it's going to feel different.
Trying to climb up like the hardest way possible. Like, it's all inherently like what are we doing? Which is awesome, but like, how can we, it's just wild. But, so that's just how I felt from day one. So for me, it actually wasn't that hard of a decision of what I was going to grade it, like that question. Cause from day one, I was like, I believe this is 8C. And then Katie did it. I was super psyched for her. And kind of immediately I was like I was planning, to go back up, but it was another year until I went back. I wish I got to try it with her. That would have been really fun. We got to climb like in the park together in 2020 during COVID a lot. And it was so much fun. She's like, oh my God, she's so strong. Her fingers are like insane. But we haven't climbed together in a while. So it would have been really cool. But yeah, anyways, went back and did it this, or like kind of, it was a year later, so reacquainted myself and like fell on the stand a few more times, and then did it the next time, like second try with my brother back to back, which was just insane.
That's so sick.
And I kind of knew, I was like,
wow,
I was like, oh, like I just know that if I do it, I'm gonna call it 8C, because that felt wrong. And like for me, it felt it felt really weird. It was a really weird situation where I was like, I in no way want to take anything away from Katie. I also know there's going to be backlash online because people, first of all, don't know the full story and just always have an opinion when they don't need to, when they're not involved. But I was like, morally, like if I believe that it's 8C and have this entire time, I cannot call it 8C plus. Like, I want to do an 8C plus one day. I want to send V16. And this to be, I haven't, to both to myself and just like, the rock climb itself. It's like, this is what I believe. I feel like I need to share my honest opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So that was frustrating that my honest opinion, like was just an opinion. And I guess that's all I can say on that.